the news today, a two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to blame. They're framed and fixed and rigged, and you know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, and close its way under.
All of our dance things are great. People are ready to like our new mood. Why is that, Scott? Because I'm just tired of the same old shit. How about you, brother? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to The Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles, he's Jones, and you're getting caught in the net here at 216. And it is Friday or Friday.
Hey.
And it's a blizzard. Holy cow.
Mr. Santos. Good morning, Mr. Santos. You know, Santos with an A and 7-0 would be Santos.
Santos.
Yeah.
So they got multiple Santos in the family,
maybe,
right?
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning,
That's
everybody. Hope
Hey.
everybody's alive, well, and warm.
Listen, the weather outside is frightful, but 21.6 and that is so delightful.
Yes, we are delightful.
Come on in. We're going to be here all morning, hanging out, having fun on this eve of Christmas Eve.
Eve of Christmas Eve,
That's
right?
it. And
Right.
of course, The Grounds brought to you through the financial support of our good friends
At Fantasy Factory Romantic Boutique, where you can keep yourself warm in these cold nights.
There we go.
Come
course,
on in, get yourself some goodies.
Also visited by our good friend, the Restoration One elf, which is good, Rudy. So glad to have him with us this morning, hanging out in front of. I mean, we've got the fires going.
Yeah.
We've got a couple candles lit for people who are not able to view us, but we're just hanging out here. Got the ambiance.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're throwing the ambiance in here, getting all of our Christmas colors out
very
front.
festive. The only we've got some. The only Christmas decoration I have is this bag of chocolate pretzels. So that's out here.
Yeah, no Christmas tree, no ornaments, just our Merry Christmas
That's
cheer, worrying and talking about the
That's
year,
it.
right?
That's
right.
Listen, well, of course, I got to have a huge shout out to my good friend John over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center. Put a nice package. Alice is going over to get an hour massage.
Oh, lovely.
Check them out at
nothing better.
www.mchenrymassage.com. Cold day. What better way? Right before the holiday, total 1 hour worth of massage and just taking care of her. So it's my present to
She's
her.
going to be coming home feeling good. There's
Yeah.
nothing better than a good massage.
Yeah.
Good massage. Hopefully she doesn't freeze when she walks out into the polar vortex.
Yeah. Listen.
Or this crazy
Listen.
snowstorm that we were supposed to get. And what did we get? 2 inches?
Yeah.
And everything shut down.
Everything.
Holy cow.
Yesterday.
Did you shut down? I didn't shut
The
down.
government shut down. Everything shut down. Listen, again, we are the only show here, 21.6 The Net, that invites you to become part of the show. Uncle Pete has right out there the StreamYard.com. You just copy, put it right in your URL, and come on in and be part of the show. This is where we talk about anything from peanut butter to politics, no politics. And
We might edge on politics every once in a while, but we don't like to get into that.
It's cold outside across the Midwest, but here's the question that I have.
Which is the way it's supposed to be in the Midwest, right? That's this is typical for the year.
When did we become pussies? Listen, it started, it's the blizzard, blah, 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 and we literally got everything that I had on my phone was saying 1 to 3 inches. We didn't get more than 3 inches.
If we got 3, I think I'd be surprised. I think, you're going to have it in more spots because of all the blowing. The worst part about the whole thing is the blowing and the cold. But it's pretty amazing how just the anticipation of what these guys and their weather models show, and they shut everything down.
Everything.
I mean, think about when you and I were kids.
Oh,
I was talking about this with the family last night going, oh, they're shutting down the world. We're supposed to get all this snow.
Right.
Back when we were kids, there'd be 2 feet on the ground. It'd still be snowing. Cars are stuck in the ditches and the school canceled. Nope. Time to go. You got to make your way in, right? I mean,
was work canceled?
No, nothing was canceled. It was business as usual. Get up, do your thing, keep moving on, right? I mean, and today it's just the thought, right? The thought of it getting bad, everyone runs. It's like, say, when to become pussies? It's like, well, the anticipation, I think, is just making people even worse and worse and worse. Hey, something might happen, so we shouldn't do something.
Yeah.
right? I
Well-
mean, if we think something might bad happen, well, we'll just stop and we'll protect ourselves,
Look
right?
at Drew, good morning, man. Hey, buddy, copy that URL right there. Old Uncle Pete. Put that right into your URL and come on, join the show. Be part of it, everybody. It's Christmas. We want you to come on and spread the pussy cheer.
That's
Right?
at Fantasy Factory.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, Mom, Dad, hey, that was all Ken said.
I'm so infuriated. What happened to now? All of a sudden, every little storm, the world is ending.
Right. Everything just gets exacerbated. Something fierce, right?
my
Like
gosh.
the anticipation of something happening is like, oh, we'll just make sure we cancel everything so nobody gets hurt, nobody has any problems. It's
Listen, big shout out to our good friends over at Panera. I know they're not paying, but this morning with my Panera points, I was able to get a free coffee and a free scone. So they opened up at 5:59. They usually open at 6, a minute early. Glad to see them there this morning.
Panera points are short PP, right?
Little PP.
I have my PP points.
Yeah. It's cold out.
That's at
so there were
Fantasy
short
Factory
points.
too.
That's right. That's right. In 1967, and good morning, Merry Christmas, Pop. Appreciate you being on here, my friend. In 67, we had 23 inches of snow in Mundelein.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
that was, and we were snow. I wasn't even actually. Well, I was born. I would have been a couple weeks old. No, I was born November of 67.
November
so that was the
67,
blizzard of 67. Yeah, and we got snowed in. 23 inches of snow. I bet you what? I bet you my dad still went to work. I bet you the schools were still open. The kids just waited till after school and got out and started sledding, right?
Well, that's and here's what I'll say too. I live on the Sac, right? That's what we cul de sac.
Oh, the cul-de-sac.
That's what we call the cul-de-sac.
Well, you had me going there for a second.
That we call the cul-de-sac the Sac in the neighborhood. So my kids growing up, Lucy growing up in the Sac. Last night, every neighborhood kid out playing in the snow.
That's awesome. I love
That's what I said too. I'm like, yes, you should be licking the snot. That's
right. You should have
freezing to
you
lip.
should just have freaking icicles hanging from your lips, right?
Which was awesome. So they're out there, they're pulling sleds around yards, they're throwing snow, they're having a blast.
Being kids,
they're
right?
kids.
Outside, not staring at which is for me, I love it because they're not staring at the TV or their phones, which unfortunately I had to. I was not able to enjoy any of that last night. So
I know you like the snow. Shayna, good morning, Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining the show. I just saw a meme that said if the CDC reported on the storm, it would record 50 inches. When did we become? There's the T-shirt right there. Yeah, that's the T-shirt. When did we?
I love it.
Hey, look at that, Wendy. Merry
morning.
Christmas, and love you, Wendy. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for joining the show. She says, Merry Christmas, my darlings. Thank you for Pete's name. Keeping it alive. Love you for that. Listen, that man, he left this blue marble, but he didn't leave
our
his
hearts.
station.
Yeah, and he didn't leave our hearts. He'll be with us forever.
He's on every week. And and if you don't know, Wendy is good old Uncle Pete's mom. But yeah, good old Uncle Pete. We love him. We miss him. And he's not dead here. That's for sure.
No, he's alive and will be.
And he'll still screw with us something.
Yes, yeah. He still messes with us here in the studio, but his energy will forever be, part of us and part of the studio.
We got his shirt hanging up over here.
Yep.
His train. I mean, he's a big part of the studio still.
Yeah.
So, so this storm rolls in, and so here's the other thing. So at the bank. And I work with a wonderful group of human beings. They are just top shelf, good quality humans. And, they weren't sure what was going on. And the owners of the bank, two of them live up in the Milwaukee land area. And one lives out in Rockford. So they drive every day into McHenry. And, so they sent out a thing and said, hey, everybody be careful. We're going to condense some hours because we're not sure. We want you to be safe. Tomorrow, you're able to, which is today, you're able to work from home remotely, but we'll open up. And so the drive-through, there'll be certain things there, weather permitting, blah, blah, blah. We'll let you know first thing in the morning. And so yesterday, I'm working at the office and it's snowing and all the bosses stayed home. It worked from home. They didn't, they
Right,
didn't
right.
not work. And so I run out into the parking lot when it's just starts snowing.
You go skitching?
And no, I made an incredible snow angel. So,
did you really?
Yeah. So it's snowing. I'm laying in the middle of the sidewalk making a snow angel. And Linda, who is the loan operations manager, is taking a picture from inside above. Right. And so, and then we sent the picture out to all the employees that said, when the bosses are away, the loan officers will play Merry Christmas from, and
I love that. That's awesome.
And just to have fun, right?
That's what it's all about.
I'm the head of the mortgage department. You got to have a little bit of fun. And it was great. Some of the comments and whatnot we got back. And of course, one of the owners, Don, was like, looks like a fallen angel.
Yeah.
It was absolutely a blast.
And that's good. You're out enjoying yourself. I mean, this, granted, -25, it's a little tough to enjoy yourself out there today. But
Scott, you were conceived because of that storm. No wonder you love snow.
Too much information, Dad, but thank you anyway.
Yeah. I was gonna say, wait a minute, 67.
It would it would have been the 66 that I got it. So 66 was a snowstorm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were born in when?
67, November of 67.
Right. So you go back 9 months. That would be
Right.
February. So it would have been February 67 snowstorm he's talking about.
I see. I don't add very
Anybody good with that?
I'm not a good man.
Listen, they don't take cash at his stores, so he doesn't have to count it back.
Yes, we do take cash. That's what I have my fingers to count it back to you for.
Listen, so I get out this morning. It's -9,
Right.
At 5:45 because I'm meeting my coffee buddies on Friday over at Panera, and I rip brownies out there. I got the big V8, and she sits outside, and she screeched a little bit this morning.
Yeah,
like,
she didn't want to fight.
It's cold.
Yeah.
And then just let her run for a while. She's fine. I don't have, I this may surprise some people. I don't have remote start on that. It's just you have to walk out and start your car.
Yeah. Remote start's nice. It is nice.
Can be.
It can be. Yeah, my wife had to go out and start her car this morning because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready yet. She doesn't have remote start, so starts of the day. She probably wasn't too happy that I didn't do that for her. But
so what other things have what I would call the pussification of America? What are some
do you really want to go there? I mean, it's Christmas.
What are some other things, Scott, that unless you all have something else you want to talk about? I mean, you want to talk about your favorite meal? I mean, what do? You do ham? You do turkey? No, that's boring,
right? Well, we were talking. Last week we were talking a little bit about energy, right? And throwing it into the season of energy, right? Talk about killing energy and fun with just shutting everything down. Everyone's trying to run around and get their last minute shopping done, and it's like, oh, gotta go, and now we're gonna shut you down.
Yeah.
Now you're just gonna sit at home.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that. I had to.
That's what I meant. Hey, you can be cold at home. We're warm here, 21.6 and a half. We're rocking it out. This is what we do.
Come on and sit in the green room.
We
hang out with us.
Love. This is exactly what we do.
Right? I mean,
period.
It's fun.
Yeah. But honestly, what else? What has caused this?
Oh man, there's so many different things, but as far as
when did it turn? When did we all of a sudden become? I mean, we used to be proud Americans. We used to,
it's been slowly
walk around with our chest
turning
out in the air.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And now been slowly turning over time.
Now we're like, let me sit down and pee.
Let me sit down and pee.
Yeah.
You mean you weren't told to do that because you got tired of cleaning up the sprinkles?
Yeah.
The tinkles.
The tinkle sprinkles.
Tinkle sprinkles.
Be a sweetie, wipe a seedy.
Can you tell it's right before Christmas and we're just hanging? I mean,
you know what
we've gone a different direction because we had a whole idea for the show, and then it's just like we were sitting there thinking to ourselves, like, when did things change so much from just basics, right?
Why did we become so scared? First of all, we know that the weatherman is right maybe once out of the year. And we blow this thing up and we say, oh my gosh, okay, it's cold. Yeah, it's December. It's supposed to be cold.
Right.
I mean, that's called winter. We're in the second day of winter.
It's the second day.
21st is the first, 22nd. So third.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the third day of winter, we pass the solstice. Days are getting longer, and yet we go, we can't do anything because it snowed a little.
Time to go sledding,
Yeah,
right?
you know,
I mean, no.
I don't understand. There's so many things that we've done. There's so many people that we've just got soft and said,
Yeah.
God, let's
Yeah, I know.
shut things. It might say, and then let's talk about the wind chill. What is this? This is the dumbest thing in the world.
The wind chill?
Yeah. It's again made up to oh my gosh, it's -9, feels like -27 with the wind chill. Well, what does the thermometer say? If the thermometer says -9, it's -9.
Right. Scare tactics? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's stupid, right?
Right. It throws me for a little bit of a Louis.
Oh, there's a good question. Shayna says, "How are the electric car faring in this weather?" I was stunned to hear about an Uber driver that can only go 12 miles between
112
charges.
miles. Yeah, they've got
Oh,
this. They've got
112
this. Yeah,
miles,
they've got this. I forget what the car is, but yeah, I mean, batteries when it's cold out don't last as long. So what is that? That's actually a really good question, Shayna. So are these people in their Teslas and all their electric cars? Are they going to lose their range? I mean, I wouldn't want to be out in this weather in an electric car, right? I mean, all of a sudden, boom, everything's gone. What are you going to do? I'm cold. It's not like a Duracell where you can just put a new one in. You got to go plug in. But I don't know. Maybe that's when everyone when we started as you put it, the pussification.
I just man, last night on Netflix Hulu. On Hulu, there's a great movie. It's called Hostile Territory.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about the infant train, or not the infant train. Back right after the Civil War, the orphan train, right? So there were so many men that died in the Civil War, and then a lot of the mothers also died from bronchitis or something of that nature, that a lot of the infants they would put on the train and move to get them to families who would adopt them,
right?
And so it's a really cool movie about that. But I'm watching these guys hustle the Oregon Trail on horseback and in the winter like this, and they're wrapped up in a friggin' blanket, cutting across America in Indian territory, Native American territory.
Yeah. BPC there,
right? And I look at that and go, that's America
right
there.
What a true grit, right?
Grit.
Yeah. Where hey, you accept. I think the thing was back then is it was what it is what it is. And you had to just deal with it and take care of it, and you didn't complain about it, you didn't change it, just took it as it came. These days now everything, this is going to be worse, and you're getting everybody in their head, right? Well, right, they're they're prepping you, scare, almost like scaring you, right?
I mean, that's the whole thing that I'm saying. Ooh, this big nasty blizzard. They named it Elliot or something.
This one?
Yeah.
Well, Elliot's a pussy then, because this was not a blizzard.
Right. Brutal. Bob says, what temperature affects electric cars? AAA tested the range effects of 20 degrees Fahrenheit weather on several popular electric vehicles and found that temperature alone could reduce range by 10 to 12%, while the use of in-vehicle climate control could amplify range loss to 40%.
That's scary, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? My big V8.
It starts up no matter what.
I got like a third tank of gas, and I know the range on that, baby.
Right.
I'm just saying.
I mean, if you got stranded in an electric vehicle, like stuck in a snowbank.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Well, how long is it going to last for you? I got stuck in a snowbank many years ago on Mason Hill Road in my truck. I got high-sided.
Really?
My truck sat there for 2 days. Luckily, I was close enough to my house I could walk down to it.
Yeah, that is.
But
good.
2 days.
I'm
kind of dumbfounded today. You know what I mean?
I am all for modern conveniences, right? I mean, I'm watching them cruise the Oregon Trail. They have to build a fire to stay by the fire. You position your horses and your wagon so it breaks the wind a little bit, and you're huddled in by the fire. I mean, you're camping and it's winter with your kids, right? And I'm sitting in my chair, in my easy chair, watching my 80-inch flat screen TV, and feeling good about that, right? And I'm sitting here saying, okay, it is what it is, and I like that. I'm not saying I don't.
Being able to sit inside in your nice
Yeah,
warm chair.
Yeah. But in the same breath, I, still say, they would look at me and go, "You pussy,"
Sitting inside, relaxing.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love the snow. I do love the outside, but unfortunately right now I just can't be outside because I just I just had surgery. So I've got a couple days of downtime to relax. If I sound nasally, that's why.
Yeah. A good question. So teenagers walk around with no coat when it's freezing, and we call them crazy. Am I, as a parent, pussifying my son by wanting him to wear a coat when it's cold? Born or learned pussification?
Both. Right. So like with my kids, or you see those kids, it's like, hey, if they're not cold, well, you don't force them to do something. People, one of the big misnomers out there is if it's cold outside and you don't wear a jacket, you're going to get a cold. You're going to get sick.
Yeah,
you don't get sick
to
from
do
being
with it,
cold, right?
right.
You get, if you're sick, going out into the cold is going to not help you, but you don't get sick from being cold. You just get cold. So if that person's okay with just, walking around in a t-shirt and shorts, I mean, we got one of our retail rock stars. He's always in shorts. I laugh at him. Like, dude, are you gonna wear pants? No, then I don't care.
Right.
As long as he's comfortable and he's taking care of himself and he's happy, it's like, hey,
well, if ladies can wear a skirt, why can't guys wear shorts?
Well, I went to Catholic,
and we don't shave our legs most of the time.
Yeah, I don't either. Not usually, but I went to Catholic high school, and the girls had to wear skirts. Right. They could not wear anything else. Now that right there, that's tough. Listen, girls are tough.
Here's what I'll say is you go down to Tampa Bay, Tim, and you've been there. You love Tampa Bay. So I'm going to use Tampa Bay. You go down to Tampa Bay in the fall, and it's 64 degrees. Because
that's freezing to them.
Right. You see people walking around in hoodies and maybe even at 80
You're
degrees.
walking around in tank top and shorts and flip-flops.
And they're looking at you like you're crazy, right?
Yep.
So the coat thing is, I don't think that's pussifying anything. I think the coat thing, Drew is in the green room. We'll get right with you, brother. That's teach it. Hey, this is what cold is.
Right.
And you don't have to be cold. If you choose to be cold, go for it. Right. But if I don't want to hear you say you're cold,
right?
If you're not wearing a jacket,
right?
Because you should wear a jacket,
right? So for me, like with Tim's question, really. So
if your kid, learned, right? It's way learned.
Well, and you can always tell people what is recommended, right?
Yeah.
I recommend if it's cold out, you at least have a jacket or dress warm, right? But hey, if I'm not cold and I'm jacket, that's up to me. It's my choice. Life is about choices every day.
Drew Casaccio, Drew Cappuccino. Good morning. Glad to have you with us, brother. Hey, you're way down south in Crystal Lake. How's the weather there?
Yeah, so I'm super duper far from you guys. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound
I didn't know if they were shutting down the Wi-Fi due to the cold.
Right. Because of this storm.
Yeah, I couldn't rush fast enough, and because I was gonna come down to the studio today, and hang out with you guys and chit chat. And something happened here at the house to where I can't make it there. And then I started hearing this conversation. I'm like, oh, I'm so going to hear about this later.
This conversation is actually, it's kind of like one of those ones that's just, you got to have it, because we are looking at going a completely different direction, but it's like, wow, like where is the world going when everything that's just something basic and something that's you live with your entire life, and it's getting worse and worse and worse, but it's not, you're making it worse.
Well, that's our fault, right?
Because, their perceptions, right?
listen, I'm a Gen Xer. I was raised a little bit differently. My parents were a little bit older. They taught the world of suffering, and life is suffering a little bit. That's how you gain strength to move forward. Well, we stopped drinking from the hose. We stopped opening up the fire hydrants. We stopped playing in the street, the ball. And things changed in the world, and I think it just made soft people, but soft people end up making harder people, and harder people
Right.
being soft people. It's this continuous loop, right?
Right.
So, I try not to give my kids a hard time, but I can't help it.
Yeah,
Because
right.
that's just what I do. But, at the same time, I try to explain to them, listen, when you hear like back in my day, it snowed outside and we walked uphill to school both ways in the wind, 17 miles. And,
Right.
I'm like, those stories for some reason you will have a story for your generation that comes down the pipeline, but it's not our world anymore. It's their world. So we can't, we can say all we want on how everybody's being a pussy, but at the same time, we created it. So we gotta look at that closely, right?
Yeah, right.
Again, like I said, I'm all for modern conveniences. I'm a guy who will get a manicure. I like you get, you
pamper yourself
work
a little
with,
bit.
yeah, you're right. I'm, the pioneers would have looked at me like, you big pussy, right? But the truth of the matter is there are some modern conveniences that I like. I love indoor plumbing. I'm not going to say that I don't, right?
Well, yeah.
Because when we go to man camp, there is not indoor plumbing, right? And
Indoor plumbing is important.
Like today, going, well, I'm glad I'm not up to man camp.
Could you imagine? Yeah, could you imagine living up north and having to use that? I'd have to hold it for days, weeks on end.
Yeah, otherwise you're pooping in a pan next to the wood burning stove. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that'll really toughen you up.
I mean,
right?
even Shayna says, life before disposable diapers wouldn't be for me either. I mean, there are, and you look at the people now who do the cloth diapers. Go, you're an idiot,
right?
The
smart ones that are not filling our landfills.
No, I don't want to hear God. That's it. Do you want
my grandbabies get cloth diapers?
Did you plug in your electric car? Your little
dude, you'll never see an electric car in my driveway. The only thing you're going to see electric in my. The only thing you're going to see electric in my.
Did you have to put in all that wood in your potbelly stove to heat up your house?
That's right.
Right.
That I actually like wood burning stoves. I wouldn't mind to a certain point having one of those. It's a good clean heat, but it is a lot more work. It's the old Laura Ingalls thing, right?
Yeah.
You got to keep that thing rolling.
No, they're great. Love the way they smell when they burn. It's great.
Some modern conveniences are great.
Yeah, I like also hitting the button that says like 72.
Yeah, keep her there.
Yeah, just keep cranking it up. Yeah, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier.
Robert says it's a myth that going out in a cold weather will make you sick. You can go out with a wet head and without a jacket. These things have nothing to do with catching a cold. That's true. That is true. Only coming into direct contact with the cold virus gets you sick, and this only happens if you infect yourself with someone else's secretions.
Ooh, that just sounds really weird,
Dad. That was a big one. Now,
the show just took a turn.
It's true. However, you can die from hypothermia.
Well, yeah. No, there's no.
You may not get sick. You might die. Right.
But a lot of people, these things get all worried about. Oh, don't go outside. Hey, if you're comfortable with something and it works for you, do it. You know, everybody's different. Everybody's different. If it works for you, do it. If it's how you want to live, do it. If you're not hurting anyone else, do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Sally Santos.
Good morning, Sally.
Of course, Selena. Santos with an A is called Santos.
Santos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, Sally says, and thanks for tuning in this morning, Sally. I think the pussification of America is a direct correlation to laziness. So much laziness.
Yeah.
Where did it start? Technology. You literally don't have to leave your house to even grocery shop nowadays. Right. Is it convenient or just ridiculous?
Both. Absolutely both. For me, I mean, it is nice. The convenience to not have, on today's really, really cold day, let's just say your mom, or, my mom, my dad, they're in their 80s. They shouldn't need to go out in the negative 25 to get food. That I like. They can get on their phone, order up some food, and get the food sent to their house. They don't have to worry about going out and getting cold.
So let's stop that thought right there.
They call me and I go get it for them.
Basically, what happens is your folks and my folks aren't dumb. They went out 3 days ago and got everything they needed for this cold
In
day.
anticipation. And that's, you know what? And that's exactly
and they look
what
at
it is.
us and go, "You guys are fucking idiots because you should have gone out 2 days ago when
Right.
it was 35 and got the shit you needed for when it's cold. You don't have to go out in the cold."
And that's something that I don't think is being taught today as far as preparing for things that are up and coming. They've been calling this storm for how long now? 4 days, 5 days?
They've been
right.
the beginning of the week. Anyway,
Right. So I mean, the person that's smart, if something like this is coming, is going to go out and prep for it.
Yeah.
You know, plan for the worst, hope for the best. Yeah. Right. So if you get it and it doesn't happen, oh boy, I've got the stuff that I need. I'll use it next time.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to have the option. Having the option's nice, right?
I mean, but you know, but with Sally's point, you know what I mean? You don't have to leave. So
no,
that's making laziness is a big thing.
Watch.
100%.
Uh-oh, here goes Cat.
Sally, is it laziness or is it all the chemicals from the chemtrails that are
Here we go.
I've got to go use the men's room. I'll be back here in about 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Did he just go there? All right. Shayna says, how do we know the chemicals we are exposed to aren't suspect in the reduced testosterone and thus pussification? Exactly. I mean, look at all this. Look at all the chemicals in food. You know,
yep.
Look at how this affects your body. And
big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
I saw a picture online, so it must be true.
Yeah, if it's online, it's true. Right?
It was from like 1863 or something. And it showed a guy that was probably maybe 280 pounds, right? And he was in the circus as the world's fattest man.
That's your typical Walmart shopper these days, isn't it?
Yeah, right. You know, and you look at that, you know. All right, so in the 1800s, if 280 pounds was the world's fattest man, that's average now.
And that, you know what? You laugh at that, but that is sad because that is really coming to fruition out there.
So I think there's a lot of it, you know, and now they're even putting chemicals in our weed. I mean, we just can't get straight weed. You know what I mean? It's
right.
There's
not unless you grow
things.
it in your house.
Yeah, not unless you grow it yourself. What's not ridiculous, Tim says, is if you forget to get your pet food while you were out. Call Reese's Barkery and Patique for home delivery.
Tim, you are the
pickup.
Man. Yes. Thank you,
awesome.
Tim. We actually do deliver, guys. If you guys forgot your food,
you do deliver?
We do. We deliver doo-doo.
Oh.
We deliver doo-doo. And we do
pre-doo-doo.
Pre-doo-doo. Yeah, pre-doo before it's
Oh.
converted through the dog. But yeah, thanks, Tim, for that shout out. But yeah, Reese's, we do have a call line that if you forgot your dog's food, come on.
So
we'll get out there.
Let me tell you how riveting this show is for all of our listeners out there. And again, folks, we are everywhere. Go to Apple Music, punch in 216 Annette. Check us out at studios_216 on Twitter. We're out there on the Twitter. By the way, a very, very successful African-American bought Twitter. Very, very successful. Anyway, listen, we are everywhere. Check us out. Facebook, YouTube. Just join us. Like, share, subscribe. A lot of good things going to be happening in 2023 here. And we are so grateful for everybody out there listening. But let me tell you how exciting this show is. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Even the people that are commenting are like, shut up, guys. Let's just have a conversation between ourselves. So Shayna asked Robert.
That's good. I love that.
She says,
this interaction.
This is Robert. What do you think about terrain theory? Pastor on his deathbed supposedly agreed with it. Interesting perspective. And to which he responds,
they already ahead of us. They're already talking to each other. We can just leave. Yeah, let's go get some coffee.
It's like the old film strips. Boop.
Yep.
Boop.
Yep.
Yeah. So Robert says, you know what? Great question, Shayna. The chemicals in our food definitely has had an effect on the function of our bodies. And then Shayna replies, there has been an extreme drop in fertility rates. Too.
Well, we don't want to go there because that's going to hit politics.
Well, a lot of,
but that is true.
Define woman. Never mind.
Right.
Again, I don't. We don't. Anyway. So the fun part of what we do here on the grounds is this is just it. When you can't get the sweet nectar of coffee without the grounds.
Right.
Grounds are a little messy.
Right. right? And we go deep. We go into the simple things and the hard things, right?
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, we don't want to talk about, like, for me, we were talking a little bit last week about small talk. I don't want small talk. Let's talk about substance. Let's talk about the shit you really want to talk about.
And the pussification of America is certainly
well,
substance.
It is substance.
Well, I'll tell you, from being a watcher, what I love about your show is that you're real. There's no, imitation conversation. It would be the best way for me to put it. You guys talk about real things. You do stay away from politics. You stay away from all the, someone told me once that if you don't talk about the politics and you don't talk about religion, you talk about food, two things separate mankind. One thing brings them together.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you guys do a really good job of that. And there's, if you watch YouTube or if you watch something and you start falling into that rabbit hole, you see nothing but negative out there. You guys, your show is awesome. So it really does a good lift up for others.
Here's a cool thing. I'm going to go quick shout out to our the people the frontliners, people who first responders, people who keep us safe. If you go out to Facebook and you punch in McHenry County Sheriffs, right? And they've got a nice Facebook page. Anyway, they did this great thing.
They did it with the elf. Yeah, that was awesome. I saw that. Yeah,
it's brilliant.
That was brilliant. Yeah, they had but it was what was the guy?
Elf on the Shelf.
Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah.
They had him where he created a crime, or he committed a crime.
They had black and white from the video.
Yeah, they put him in the jail cell. They took pictures.
Yeah.
It was like a whole thing to follow, and it was just fun because it was just people being people, right? Having fun, enjoying the season, right? Like, this is funny.
And then what are the first comments? Oh, this is what our taxpayer money does.
Oh, did they see?
Oh my God, there's a bunch of those.
Those keyboard warriors.
Yeah,
right.
You guys are idiots. This is brilliant. It's funny. It's creative.
Good
for them.
I would actually like to meet some of these keyboard warriors in person to see, how they can, if they actually could stand up to their, their comments in someone's face, right? Because they actually got to stand up, be who they are, show who they are, instead of just being anonymous, right?
Yeah, a lot of those guys, they see the sun, they don't even go outside.
Well, that's what you said with us, Drew. We are real. I mean, we just talk. This is what frustrates us. These are the things that we think about.
We're two idiots that just.
Well, we are right. But the issues in the world that really, and what we really want to talk about, what really bothers us, right? Or what we really want to help. I mean, the station of 216, the Net's parent station is DDOE, a daily dose of encouragement.
That's right.
Right. So we're trying to encourage people to talk about the things that really bother them or concern them, or that they might want to change, not what mass media is telling them to think. Right. We want to be ourselves and to help each other to get along in this world, because this world is tough and everybody needs a little bit of help, And if we're going to be two crazy idiots on the radio talking about, the fact that we're pussification because we shut down the entire world for 2 inches of snow.
We need a lot of help.
Yeah, then so be it. I mean, you got to be, you are what you surround yourself with. So
yeah,
I like
you are what
that
you
a
eat.
lot.
That's why we're talking about the pussification of America. Hey-o. All right, never mind. All right. Listen, it is Christmas Eve, and for all of our friends across the world, and of course, Gary over in Singapore, it's already Christmas Eve. So some of our listeners, Christmas Eve, whether you celebrate it or not, that's what it is, okay? Because Jesus was a white guy from Africa. Anyway, what we want to say is that Merry Christmas. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, the ground's brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at
Fantasy Factory Romantic Boutique at 818 Front Street here in McHenry. Stop in. We've got all kinds of good sales. Give your significant other a real Christmas present this year that can keep on giving and giving and giving. I was waiting for you over there.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, you had that look in your face. Like,
but when it's cold out, just understand those batteries won't last quite as long.
Yeah.
All right. We call. Robert says Robert Hughes was a friend of mine from Fish Hook, Illinois.
Yeah, the fattest guy in the world.
He weighed 1,028 pounds at his death.
Yeah, my dad grew up in Quincy, Illinois, and they got pictures of him. It was weird, he's in the Guinness Book of World Record, why would you want to for me, why would you want to sensationalize somebody, he's the biggest, fattest dude. I don't want anyone to know.
Listen,
was that the guy they had to remove like part of his house to get him.
Yeah,
out.
they had to take the wall down to get him out. Yeah.
So speaking of the Guinness Book of World Records, my penis was actually in it, and then the librarian said, "Could you please put that away?"
He slammed his penis in the book. He didn't throw the book at him; they shut it on him.
Thank you very much. There's your
The Christmas
story
special
around
here at
Christmas
216.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What do you guys talk about at Christmas? Getting together, loving everybody.
All right. He had a huge pituitary issues.
Yeah,
Yes,
his wasn't
yes.
just straight.
I mean,
but
yeah,
it's still sad. Though.
It's the same thing with like those like the guy who was 8 feet 11 inches.
Robert, was it Earl?
Yeah. What we call it being in throat punch range. Yeah. Yes. It's
Societal balance.
Yes, it is. So you like that? You can use that joke about the Guinness Book of World Record.
I don't know if I'll remember.
So what we try to do, listen, two bald guys and a microphone, we start your week off on a good positive note. Grounds comes in, and well, it is what it is, and that's the end of the week. So
end of the week, we're just trying to close it. We're just trying to close it with a little bit of fun, a little bit of excitement, and hopefully we can talk about some stuff that means things to people and can help change someone's life and help them have a better life, especially this time of year.
Yeah,
this is the loneliest time of year for a lot of people.
And seriously, check on some neighbors. Check on some elderly folk or whatever. What I want you to understand is it is cold. You're not being a puss if you're trying to help people out. If you're cruising by and you see a car stranded, it's okay to roll your window down, make sure that they're okay, or have them jump in your vehicle for a minute. It's just the way that it is. And if you get murdered for being a nice person, well, then
we appreciate the thought. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So it is, to me, like as long as I'm working outside. So if I'm shoveling or I'm
you're moving around. It's not
if I'm working, if I'm doing something, I'm okay being outside. But like when I go from my car to the building, when I'm at the bank or whatever, and I'm like, why do I live here? It's so cold, right? So it really depends on what you're doing. Now, at the same time, I'm not the person like you who will be like, well, let me strap on some cross-country skis and let's just go. I'm not that crazy, right? I don't do that.
That's not crazy.
Yeah.
That's good outdoor exercise. That's enjoying the beautiful scenery that God gave us.
Well, I've had frostbite on my fingers. So like literally
right. No, I
this
get
time
that.
of year, my hands burn if they get cold.
In your pants.
Yeah. Well, of course. But then, the police start asking questions. The pastor at church, it's
fiddle with the chestnuts by the open fire. You know what I mean?
Make it sound like you were tortured in a Russian prison, Ken.
Yeah. Right. The worst is when I start sticking them in other people's pants. What are you doing? Hands are cold.
Well, that's another story for another show.
Yeah.
Right.
Dana does ask a good question, Scott. What's the return policy on Fantasy Factory? What do I think this might be a good live skit? It might.
It might be.
Yeah.
Hey, Saturday Night Live, give us a call. You guys want to talk? We could go into negotiations on that one. But
hey,
there is no return policy at Fantasy Factory. You buy it, it's yours.
Yeah. Hey, I got this in my stocking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
Oh my
God. Tim says nothing stranger than nothing stronger than lending a hand to someone who needs your help. No pussy. Yeah, you're right, man. And do what's right.
And it doesn't have to only be during the cold part of the season.
No,
helping people all year long.
Listen, and that's just a simple call. Hey, how you doing? Everything good?
Right.
Well,
and helping your neighbor out. Like my neighbor, she's got to be in her mid 80s. Super, one of the nicest ladies in the world. I mean, she's like a grandma to me, really. Yeah. I mean, when we moved in, right away, I just started cutting her grass, shoveling her driveway. I didn't even meet her, and I just did it because I knew she didn't have time.
Does your pops just hang out at the circus? What's going on here?
Yep.
That's
what I told you. The biggest, the tallest guy in the world,
8'11" inches,
and he's in the
Guinness. Met him at Alton. Yeah, you're dead. Good Lord.
He's been around the world, man.
I absolutely
He's
listen,
he's
I
well
love
traveled.
your dad. I do. He's a great man, and yeah, it's incredible that
Quincy bred a lot of interesting people.
Oh, you're from Quincy.
Yeah.
Oh no,
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, Quincy, Illinois. That's mom and dad,
Yeah.
born and raised in Quincy, and we've got
Yeah.
God. There's got to be 300 of us in Quincy.
Well, of course. Now, Bob, did you go to Nauvoo? Were you at the boys' school at Nauvoo or no?
No, he went to just
All right.
he went to just regular public school.
I grew up down in Burlington, Iowa, so not too far from
Yep.
Quincy. I mean, you go down to Keokuk and kind of shoot straight over.
We have relatives in Keokuk.
Keokuk.
Yeah, Keokuk.
Yeah.
Yep, right on the
Yeah.
old Mississippi there.
Yeah. That's it.
Yep.
Bada bump. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, I just wanted to say I'm gonna let you go. But Merry Christmas. Thanks for having me on the show. Merry Christmas to all the listeners and followers. Until next time, you guys be safe.
Drew,
Thanks for checking in with us.
Thanks
We
for coming.
appreciate it.
Looking forward to big things with you in 2023, brother.
Yep. Have a
Copy
great
that, brother.
holiday season. Merry
All right.
Christmas. Give everyone a love hug. And if you see a car in the ditch, just keep driving by. Don't
That's
stop.
right. Yeah.
Sounds good. Take care, gentlemen.
All right,
brother.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Good man.
Yeah,
right
he's
there.
a good
man.
he's a good man
Right
for
there.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's there's so many things that are happening, and my first thought is, were they doing this to try to reduce travel? Were they, there's a lot
Right.
of people moving around the country this time,
Right.
and here's the other thing that I will ask, and I'll ask our listeners as well, is when did it, hey, it's going to snow, and oh, by the way, there's going to be rolling power outages, potential.
They're just putting that in your head.
right? And
Right.
and then all of a sudden, like the storm that rolls through the Carolinas, and then there were power outages. Oh, come to find out, somebody shot out one of the
Right. The Transformers. Yeah. They're gearing you up.
Right? Am I right?
It's not all man-made. No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No,
Never growing up as a kid, it was like, hey, hunker down. There's going to be a pretty bad storm. Oh, and by the way, you're
Go
going
out
to
and buy. Yeah, it's bad. Well, it's going to be a bad storm. Go out and buy all your Christmas presents now and all your extra food to
Right.
make sure that you're taking care of the season.
You see,
So-
yeah. I mean,
I don't know. You can always look into things and think there's ulterior motives and stuff.
oh,
The only thing that I like about the fact that they pushed us, talked about this, is it did hopefully push a lot of people into being prepared for it. That's a big thing that a lot of these kids these days
For this-
aren't prepared. Well, for this
oh my God, you had to be
Snowmageddon, right?
had to be prepared for
Well,
this
you gotta be
3
pre-
inches.
Right. Well, that's what I told
That's
my
what
wife
she-
when we
hey,
got married.
hey!
You got to be prepared for the 3 inches, honey. But that's
Hung
the
like
one
a
thing
tuna
that
can.
part of the reason that the pussification, if you will, of America
Yeah.
is we're not preparing our kids for life as it is. We're making them. I mean, you know how I feel about the school system. I don't want to really get into that, but they're not preparing them for what life really is and the basics of life, the home ec, the managing money, the mind, right? I mean, they're not preparing kids. We'll prepare you. Hey, it's going to be a lot of snow. You better go get food, but don't worry about taking care of yourself or worrying about your neighbor, right?
Just another interesting fact about Quincy, Robert says, is that the pilot of the Enola Gay that dropped the A-bomb was from from there, Colonel Paul Tibbets.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Quincy's got like 80,000 people in it, but you know what I'm saying about the preparedness? I mean, that's part of the pussification of America. Are we really preparing our kids to take care of themselves and to be able to function properly?
I mean, you ask your dad, ask my folks, right? Anybody in their 80s, they were born in the 1900s, 40s, right?
Right.
They've lived through a lot of change.
A lot of shit, right? Yeah,
You
big
understand
change.
what I'm saying? So they're going to look at us and go, "You guys are all sissies," right?
To a certain point, absolutely. I mean, think about what they've went through. I mean, not that what we're going through isn't bad, but the
Listen,
radical changes.
how frustrated do you get when your internet goes down and you can't watch TV?
People lose their friggin' minds.
Listen, we had to put they had to put tin. They didn't have TV to start with. Then they get TV and they got to put tin foil up on the antenna.
Yeah,
and then you got to get up and change the channel to U45.
Yeah, you got to actually
U30,
twist a button.
Yeah, right.
But yeah,
so I would disagree with you. We are. the modern conveniences, technology advancement, we are helping them. It's just a different style of living than when we were.
It's
when we were
definitely a
kids,
different style
right?
of living. It's definitely a different style of living.
I mean, literally back in the 80s, you would think it was weird to have a cell phone, let alone a watch that has more technology than
Than a
NASA
computer.
had to put people on the quote unquote on the moon.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yet we haven't figured out enough technology computer wise to get back to the moon. Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm laying it out there.
Right.
Is that we are preparing. We're just preparing them for a different time. That's it.
Yeah. Different time, different circumstances, I mean, but
Our education was a lot of memorization.
well, let me ask you
Right.
this. Right. But like with your kids, right?
Yeah.
Love your kids. Great kids. Right. Do you think that if you didn't teach them what you teach them and tell them what you tell them, that the school, what they're learning through school or society prepares them to actually be able to like take care of themselves and prosper?
Well, and that's where I'm going to poke back at people and say, why is it the school's job to educate my children? It's the school's job, right, to support my I educate my children. It's up to me. And so many people in America have said, here, you go spend 6, 7, 8 hours over here. These people will babysit you all day. And what you'll learn there. It's so if you're a parent and you don't educate your child, then that's bad on you. You should be the one educating your child. You should be sitting there, right? I have had conversations with principals and with educational boards of directors and things like that, saying, why do you give homework? This doesn't make sense to me. Because if I go to work 9 to 5 and I'm done working at 5, I don't have to work necessarily. Not every job. If you're in sales, you'd always pick up the phone. You know that, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you never stop working. You don't get days off. But what I'm saying is, you trying to push all this homework. That's not preparing them for life at all.
No, that's actually strapping them. That's not allowing them to enjoy themselves. When you leave your job, you're supposed to leave your job, right? But the reason I asked that question is, and what your comment is then if you're saying it's not the school's job to educate your kids, then what is the school's job?
Yeah.
To expound upon what you've taught them?
Shayna says, you remember when your mom would run your lunch up to the school?
Oh,
you
yeah.
Forgot it?
Oh, yeah. In my Popeye lunchbox.
Yeah, that would be the day my stomach would help me remember next time. It's more our issue as parents, in my opinion.
Parents today pussifying their kids.
Absolutely. Alice was off this week, and she did that for Lucy. This week.
I mean, it's our job. It's our job to teach our kids to be self-sufficient, right? And so then, would you say it's the schools to help further that?
Yeah,
individualist,
right.
Because I mean, like
what happens is people say, oh, why is my kid getting a D? You're a dumb teacher. Well, what have you done to educate your child?
Right.
Nothing. You go sit in front of the 80-inch TV, you ignore your kid, and then you get mad at them because they're on their phone all day. Listen, my 13-year-old daughter is a brilliant, beautiful young lady. And she spends most of the time up in her room. That used to be a punishment. Go to your room.
That's solace.
What?
That's solace for kids these days.
That used to be a punishment. She's on her phone. She's got a TV, whatever. And she's like, cool, I'm just chilling out in my room. Right. I mean, she's got a cool room. I'll give her that. Right. But
it's comfortable.
You and I would be like, what? I got to go to my room.
Right. Like we used to get in trouble.
This is not fair. I hate you.
We used to get in trouble for not coming home.
Right.
My parents had a whistle. They would blow when it's time to come home.
I still got that whistle. All the kids in the sack know it too.
If that whistle went off and we weren't home, oh boy, trouble's a brewing.
That's right.
Right. And I mean, like, I wanted to be outside.
And you know what? There wasn't back then either. There wasn't what? No, your mom or dad are like, hey, you're like,
yeah, you didn't question things. You didn't,
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that your kid has some independence and wants to question you, but it's in the manner in which they question you, right?
Yeah.
Like I want my kid to push back on me.
Yeah.
but I want them to do it in a more respectful way, right?
Yeah.
To a certain point, because I don't want them like, well, you know what I always say, question everything, right? If I say and tell my kid to do something and they don't understand why I'm asking them to do it, I want them to ask why. What is it? Why? What is it? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Well, this is why I think you should do it. If you don't think you should do it, explain to me why. And maybe you're right. I could be wrong. I'm not super smart.
Yeah, I mean, Shana says that if the kid's life isn't in danger, I say let the consequences fall where they may.
We just call them natural consequences.
Well, I agree with that. On the other side, or on the flip side, then teachers may go, that's endangering your child. You didn't send lunch to them. Listen, in my day, we didn't have breakfast either. I don't understand why families, if it's a financial thing, I totally get that.
Yeah.
We understand that. Every era has had poor families. We know. They're sending the kid to school without any breakfast. Well, get a different routine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now all of a sudden, cost of school has risen because now we have to feed kids breakfast.
Right.
What?
Right.
What?
Well, I mean, I love with Shana's statement there, and I don't think my wife's watching because we're just crazy busy right now. But
Yeah. Well,
so like
it's probably the snowstorm. That's
yeah. Well, but so like with our kids, it was natural consequences. How many times you hear parents bitching at their kid, do your homework, do this, do that, right? Pushing on them. We didn't do that with our kids.
Yeah.
We sat down with them. We
You
explained, look,
homeschooled your kids.
no, we didn't. No. We had them at home. We delivered them at home.
Oh, yeah,
right.
That's right.
But no. So like, what happens if you don't do your homework?
That's it.
Who gets in trouble? The kid.
Yeah.
Right. Not me. So it was your choice not to do the homework.
Yeah.
So you get in trouble. Then you're going to come home and I'm going to be mad at you because you didn't do what you did.
Right.
You had that choice.
Yeah.
Once again, and here's my statement.
Yeah.
Life is about choices. You make choices every day. They choose not to do it. That's their choice.
Yeah.
The natural consequence is they get in trouble. I'm not going to get in trouble. Right. The teacher might say something to me and I'll look at him and be like, that's not my job to make them do it.
Teacher, I love you. It's great.
Oh.
She says I'm sitting next to a heater with a fake fireplace on the TV while listening. Love
Well,
it.
she's probably at Reese's right now because it's been crazy. People have just been coming in there getting all their goodies.
Oh, yeah, well,
You know.
got to take care of your fur babies as
Gotta
well.
take care of them fur babies. Yeah.
I like to teach lessons, and life hands you lessons, and I tell my kids that, and I am Shayna. I am that. What are the consequences for every action? There is a reaction, right?
Right.
That's physics. That's law. That's just the way it is.
Right.
For every comment, how you react. You choose is it going to ruin your day? Is it not going to ruin your day? So the truth of the matter is that's the way we teach our kids. That's the way I teach my kids. And
Right.
and still today, when they're adulting, and I've got 28, 26, 20-year-old, when they're adulting, you still go, okay, well, why are you pissed about this? Well, let's talk about that, because of this. Right. And there you have it.
And sometimes that's a it's a conversation you want to have, but you kind of have to leave your hands off of it, right?
Yeah.
It's because of the natural consequence. And I love for Deidre, that was, when we talked about that, because I disagreed with her wholeheartedly when we first started talking about that. Like, what do you mean? It's our job to make sure our kid does the homework. She's like, why is it our job?
It's not.
She's like, he's learning, she's learning. This is what they have to do. They have a responsibility.
Well,
it's their responsibility.
There's a lot of parents who do their homework for the kids.
Let me show you how to do that.
Let me show you how to make this.
What does that kid learn?
Nothing. Right.
Nothing.
Robert says we learn through experiences, some good, some not. Shayna says the kid in shorts won't be mine because I think it reflects poorly on my kid, and I won't endorse that foolishness. Not because I think you will get sick. But it's
that kid's choice, right? And that's what they're comfortable with.
No, not if give me the age of the kid.
Well, that's true too.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you
teenage.
can't-
I think I'm going more towards in teenagers.
You can't shirk that responsibility. But here's, I try to, if my kid wanted to wear shorts, I would say, you want to wear shorts, you're going to wear shorts, you're going to be cold. I don't want to hear about the cold. But let me show you this story. Let me pull up this story about this teenage kid who wore shorts and a hoodie and froze to death because the car ran out of gas or whatever.
Right.
Right. So just understand, right?
Well, you're giving them the tools and you're giving them the information.
Right.
What they do with the information is
Right.
up to them. They choose to use the information that's given to them, or they don't.
Do your cars, have you taught your kids to put
our cars have blankets,
candles, blankets, right? It's winter.
Right. Blankets, extra hats, gloves, a jacket if so.
Right.
And I don't push as hard, but jumper cables, they all have, all of our cars have that except for my wife's. Honey, I'm sorry, I forgot to put them in your new car. Not new car, but newish car. Sandbags, something to get out, a little shovel. I mean, you have to prepare for the worst and hope for the best, right? If you get stuck and you got all these things, great, you've got it, you're set. Just like we were just talking about, Mom, the people going out 3 days before the storm hits to prepare for what could happen.
Always have a lighter and a bag of Fritos. It's the best fire starter anybody can have.
And look, and then Deidre, like Deidre says right there, my daughter Carolyn's grades went from C's and D's to being on the honor roll every time after we changed our way of thinking. That's when, it's not our job. This is your responsibility to do it, and your consequences are your consequences. We're gonna be sad that you're mad or you're in trouble and you have to stay after school, but it's not our problem. You're the one that has to deal with it.
Yeah, I won't let them run around in a Batman costume either. I mean, like that. No, I'm just, I'm very much the same way, and I've told my kids since they were little, your decisions while you live in my house reflect on the family, not just me and your mom, but your grandparents, right?
Right.
Your aunts, your uncles.
We talked about that a little bit the other day.
You carry my name, and so understand when you do something stupid and end up in prison, it's me that people are going to look at, not you. Right. So I try to help my kids understand. I will big picture them. You're going to be you, right? And I am blessed to have good kids, what I consider good kids.
They're great kids. Yeah.
And I'm blessed that way. Absolutely blessed that way. I can't get on them right now. We do, our kids have gone through those. I won't even call them rebellious years. What I would call as testing life years.
Yeah, the questionable years.
And that's a little bit of, okay, you're 20 and bulletproof. Good luck with that.
Well, those are the years. Those are the best years, because that's when they're questioning, what should happen and what they need to do or not do.
Lucy, 13, and we keep telling her, hey, Luce, you're our fourth kid. This ain't new to us. It's new to you. Right. Come to us. Right. Be open with us, and going through some things. And, I'm like, well, here's what you do. You ball that fist up as hard as you can, and you aim for the nose. I said, now understand, they might kick your ass, but fight.
Yep.
And they'll understand they got a fight on their hands. And my wife, of course, she takes the other ways, it's like, you just ignore them. You come home and cry all you want. You come home and cry all you want. You don't do it at school. You don't do it in front of people. You don't let them know that you get there. Right. So there's two different ways, so now, like, all right, well, here it is. You either go get them, or you got to let it roll off of you. Right.
Well, you gave her the information. It was her choice what she wants to do with it. And that's what a lot of the parents these days, I don't think they give a lot of kids choices. This is what you do, and this is why you do it.
That's what I told her. I said, I don't care if it's a boy or a girl. I said, listen, Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. I said, so you ball up that hand and you go right for their nose.
Yeah, that's true.
Punch them right in the nose. They won't know what to do.
Right.
A lot of times.
Well, go with your gut instinct.
Anyway,
that's why we're not. That's
don't
why
get
we're
in
pussies
kids
now.
Kids don't get in fist fights at Christmas Eve. Listen, our time has come. We're a little bit over. We can't thank you enough for all the love, support, everything that you have given us. We'll be back next week. I'll be here. You gonna be here?
I'll be here. Yeah.
We'll be back next week. We'll have a little bit of fun. Next
Always
Friday,
fun.
It'll be New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
Except for the people on the other side of this marble, which it's already New Year's Eve.
Yep.
So
guys, we appreciate you tuning every week to 216 the Net and the Grounds, of course, our show here. But one thing I want to leave you guys with, other than Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, enjoy yourself.
Herpes.
Hey guys, herpes, exactly. This is one of the toughest and loneliest times of the year for a lot of people. Reach out to people, make sure they're okay. Get past surface conversations with people. Really try to figure out who they are, what's going on with them. If you can help people out, that's what the world really is all about, right? Helping people out, give them a daily dose of encouragement, and understanding that we all are going through shit.
Sometimes,
right? Just understand that we're all human. Help
That's
each
it.
other out. Love each other. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for tuning into the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles. He's Jones. We love you all. Peace.
smile.